Have you ever thought you could rely on the unseen? Well, the answer is staring back at you through your screen and through this PowerPoint. It's electricity. Now, could you imagine a day without electricity? Well, many people would die due to hospital life support systems losing power and the loss of communication to emergency response units to be able to respond to those who need help. Do first world countries exist without electricity? Well, let me answer this question with another question. Do you think a first world country would be able to keep up with world politics, infrastructure, and technology well enough to compete as a global powerhouse without electricity? Hello, my name is Angel Vega and I am an electrician's apprentice and electrical engineer major. In today's presentation, I will use the Erie Institute of Technology's article titled, How Does Electricity Work? I will also acquire the assistance of the U.S. Department of Energy article titled, Electricity Production and Distribution. Using these sources and many more, I will bring you the most up-to-date information. Why do we need to know about electricity's impact? We need to know about this topic because we live our lives around it without knowing much about it. Today, I would like to discuss the impact of electricity. To get an idea of what we're talking about today, I will begin with electricity in its different forms, the production of electricity, and we'll finish it off with how electricity powers society. Without further ado, let's begin with what electricity is and its different forms. Well, what is electricity? Electricity, as defined by the Erie Institute of Technology, is the flow of charged particles, such as protons and electrons. There are two forms of electricity, static electricity and dynamic electricity. Electricity is measured with its current via amps and potential via voltage. Static electricity is simply the buildup of charged particles. You can kind of see this as when you rub a balloon on your hair and it floats. It's merely just the buildup of charged particles. Static electricity becomes dynamic electricity once it has a flow. You could think about it as lightning during a storm. It builds up charge in the clouds, and as soon as it discharges, it gets a flow and becomes lightning. Now, electricity is dangerous. It only takes 0.1 to 0.2 amps that flows from your left hand to your left foot to kill you. It is because it crosses your heart. Now that we know what electricity is, we could talk about its common types of production. How electricity is produced. Basic production of electricity. Electricity is very straightforward. It's produced by mechanical energy turning to electrical energy. You can think about this as the alternator in your car. It uses your motor's mechanical energy to turn to electrical energy that charges your battery. Now, the most common electrical production to date is burning fossil fuels. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, 60% of our energy is made by burning fossil fuels. We also have renewable resource alternatives. This makes up 21% of our electrical production. These renewable resources consist of solar panels, windmills, and hydro plants. Also, fun fact, did you know your poop can be made into electrical energy? This is because bio-waste is collected and decomposed by bacteria to turn into natural gas. This natural gas is then filtered and refined to be burned for electrical production. Seeing the many ways humans have made options to produce electricity, you can start getting an idea of how important it is for modern society. Impacts of electricity in modern society. Life before electricity. Life before electricity can be seen through the scope of someone in the 1800s. In order to communicate with someone, you would have to either meet up with them in person or write them a letter, which could take days or weeks for a response. Instead of Googling something, you would have to research it through books or other media. And you would have no way of knowing if this information was outdated until it got to you via word of mouth. You would also have to either walk to work or catch a buggy So you would have to be lucky if your job isn't far from you. When was electricity mainstream? Electricity was mainstream during the early 1900s. It is the reason why we can experience the world as a 24-hour day. Streetlights, cell phone, cars, and even spaceships are what define a modern society. Electricity in a modern society. What electricity does in a modern society, to put it simply, is keep it running. Education depends on electrical power via online classes. These online classes give those without the ability to make it to class to learn and educate themselves. Hospitals also rely on power, as said earlier. The contribution of electrical energy to the medical field alone is huge. It is the reason why human life expectancy increased from 32 years in the 1900s to 73 in 2003. First world power. The electricity infrastructure and the workforce society are very closely tied. Think about what makes a first world country. It is the availability of running water, economic stability, and overall quality of life. All of these are possible due to electricity. Running water is provided via pump stations, which is obviously powered by electricity. Food, preservation, and transportation is made possible by deep freezers and electrically powered vehicles. Economic wealth is distributed digitally and allows for worldwide distribution. In case I lost your attention somewhere along the way, here are the basics of what I said. Impact of electricity, all about electricity. Today, I have discussed the impact of electricity. Electricity is just the name of charged particles flowing towards a destination. It has two forms, static and dynamic. It is commonly produced by burning fossil fuels, at least in the US, and of course have renewable alternatives such as hydro plants, windmills, and solar panels. Electricity has a huge part in modern society and has played a great growth in our life expectancy. Electricity is such a huge part of modern society that we have become accustomed to it. Life without it would not be possible were it not for electricity. Think about how different your life would be a day without electricity. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.